What is the best marriage advice you have for newlyweds? U/Grumpinetchik in Texas responded. My wife and I have been happily married for 27 years, and the advice I have always given people is this. Remember, at the end of the day you're on the same side. You don't have to agree, but everything can be a compromise. Divide up household chores, everything can't be one person's responsibility, even if one stays at home. Make time for talking and intimacy, not just sex. But now that I mentioned sex, talk about it openly, freely, without judgment. Decide the amount and frequency and times that work for both. To build on the above comment, you would be surprised how far simple courtesy goes to making both parties feel like they're part of the relationship. And for goodness sake, communicate, don't yell and argue about every little thing. Remember, no one actually knows your viewpoints if they aren't shared. Lastly, if you do fight, fight fair. No name calling, power plays or stomping off like a toddler. U/Starfighter51 responded. 1. Go to bed angry. Despite everyone telling you the opposite, go sleep in another room, on the couch, etc. You both need time to cool off. Don't shame your partner for walking away when their emotions are getting too high. They may not be ignoring you or dismissing you, but trying to wrangle their emotions. 2. Be honest with each other on everything. Don't get angry when your partner is being honest with you. The alternative can lead to resentment or worse. Sometimes honesty is hard to hear. When you give me insert sex thing here it actually feels terrible. I don't care for your insert treasured recipe tradition family thing here 3. There is a time for honesty. Right before bed, a movie, a big event, is not the right time. 4. Make out with your partner before sexy time. Forget every Cosmo TikTok or other source suggestion for foreplay. Start with making out, like you used to when you were a teenager. 100% works. 5. Give your partner time to themselves, 30 to 60 minutes when they get home, a few hours on a weekend, just some time to themselves. Make sure they know that it's time for them, and that you can have time together after. 6. Make household chores a game. Sexually tease your partner as you clean, do laundry, etc. Rub up against them, kiss them passionately, then walk away. A touch, a grope, etc. See if you get lucky or the house gets clean. The reward is worth it either way. U/MadHatter06 responded. Communication is vital. I told my husband early on that if I made a meal and he didn't like it, he needed to tell me, or else he'd end up eating it again. Honest communication tempered with love must happen. Spend time together. Not just watching TV but really being together in that moment. It's okay to have hobbies or hang out with friends separately from time to time. You need to have a slice of life as yours, this is true. But don't do that all the time. Don't always be going separate directions. When you get married, you and your spouse are a unit. Your family is you and your spouse, and kids. Your parents, your siblings, your friends, you aren't married to them. So don't let them insert themselves into your relationship. U/Orion_2KTC responded. Before you even get married, don't go into heavy debt for your wedding. 99% of your attendees will never think about it again after 6 months. Don't use sex as a reward. Respect your partner's hobbies. Don't turn off the gaming console as a joke, and for God's sake don't delete a fucking save file so they spend more time with you, because I guarantee they will resent you for it. Don't hide money troubles. Don't expect all the expensive stuff. No, a baby will not save your marriage. Initiate sex randomly. Ladies, if your man is on the phone on the couch, walk up, straddle sit on his lap, and I guarantee you the phone will get tossed aside. It doesn't even have to be sexual. Most men crave physical contact, and that moment of bliss will calm him down. Don't sweat the small details. Yes, they may want to spend some time alone away from you. With the guys gals. Let them. U/virtualproduce9352 responded. The traditional advice you get, 2 become 1, as in the lighting of the candles during the wedding ceremony, is wrong. It's actually 1 + 1 is equal to 3. You each maintain your separate hobbies, interests, friends, etc., but you also develop joint hobbies, interests, friends, etc. Don't ever give up who you are, or you will come to resent the other person. Enjoy your alone time as well as your together time. Balance is key. Also, remember that it's you and your partner vs the problem. You're not trying to win an argument, you're trying to overcome an obstacle together. U/Vero358 responded. First, realize that marriage is like the ocean tides. There is going to be times when things couldn't seem to get any better and times when nothing seems like it's going right. But it is important to realize that in those low times, you can work through it and things will get better, but you have to be willing to work with your partner and help and support them and vice versa. And second, never talk badly about your spouse to anyone no matter what if you want peace. There will be times when you are irritated or whatever, but the moment you say one negative thing about your spouse to a friend or family member, the person you say that thing to will never forget that, and it will constantly be in the back of their mind even if you might forget about it in a week. Keep your minor problems private and between you two. You/mental_vacation responded. Nothing, but everything, changes. That makes a lot more sense as time goes on. Don't expect anything to change, but accept what does, as long as it is in a positive direction. Don't expect to be perfection, don't expect each other to change after you're married. You are still the same people, we hope. Now you have someone to walk with you down life's path. And always, no matter how angry you are after an argument, say I love you as you go to sleep each night, and as you leave the home, or go your separate ways for different things. This is our rule, because it is important to know that no matter how hard life becomes or how stressed we are, that we still love each other. You/Griffindumble responded. Don't move back in with family to save money. Especially with a kid. They might mean well and have good intentions, but they will, possibly unintentionally, nitpick things and cause us unnecessary stress and tension. You need your own space for your immediate family. I am currently learning this lesson. In the process of getting moved. Married 9 years and lived on our own up until last year. My father-in-law passed, so we moved in with my mom and brother to help. More financially beneficial, and I saved some money. While it's been great that my kid has had all this time with grandma, there are lifestyle differences, health and habit differences, smoking, and some definite political-based tension that isn't healthy for our kid. There have been comments made here and there about the way my wife does this or that, almost on the verge of bullying from my brother. Final straw was about a month ago when my brother attacked me as a result of him hurling politically charged insults and getting rough with me in front of my kid. Kid hasn't felt comfortable enough to sleep in his own room since. This was the unfortunate event that made it very clear to me that this living situation wasn't healthy for my family. When we initially moved in, there was a feeling that we were giving up a bit of our family independence, probably should have listened to that feeling a bit more. Lesson learned. You/Sharmasensi responded. Ladies, if you want something, just ask for it. Don't think he's going to read your mind or guess. We do think differently. Years ago, my wife and I were in the Bahamas celebrating our 15th anniversary. We took a boat trip with a number of other couples from the resort. About half were newlyweds, the others married from 10 to 30 years. During the trip we passed a small village that had thousands of conch shells that they had tossed over the wall after removing the meat. This pile had to be 30 feet running down into the water. As we sailed by, one of the newlyweds commented, "Oh, those are so pretty." I tapped her spouse in the should and said, "That means she wants one." Went on to explain that while she thought about how pretty those shells were, he was thinking how much work and time it was to make a pile that big. Just tell him you want one and he'll dive in and go get you some. The oldest couple spoke up then, "Yeah, just tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. Preferably in writing so I don't screw it up." Everyone but the newlyweds smiled and nodded in agreement. The newlyweds just looked confused. You/MagicmanTX84 responded. Marriages are a love bucket. You both need to put into the love bucket. If one person puts in and another just takes out, it fails. If nobody puts in, it fails. Marriages are made over the kitchen table talking, or wherever you want to talk, not in the bedroom and not behind a TV or game console, or on the internet. Have time together, dinner time, date nights. Be open and honest with each other, brutally honest. My wife and I have been married 37 years, known each other for 42 years. We eat together as much as possible, play tennis, work out, bicycle and do lots of things as a couple. I choose to do only one thing without my wife, my choir, because I am musical and she is not. Enjoy the ride, life is a journey, not destination. You/Rakul responded. Lot of great into here, but I will add one that no one seems to talk about, and I had to learn myself. Your sex drives change over time, and sometimes yours will be higher than hers or lower. Understanding that over your life together, there will be times that you are no longer on the same level, and you will need to be aware of how you are acting when you are turned down. My wife is premenopause at the moment, and for her that means her sex drive has tanked, and my drive is higher than ever. I had to relearn how to act with her in a way that did not make her feel bad because she isn't in the mood. If you don't, it's a death spiral of continuously trying to get some and being turned down because she isn't in the mood, and I started to unconsciously resent her for something she has zero control over. Once I realized what was happening, she also told me it was starting to make her feel terrible for saying no. I had to sit down with myself and basically tell myself do not feel bad upset because of something she has no control over and over. Now I still pursue her any chance I get, but the moment I sense any amount of no, I back off, but I do not hold it against her even with an unconscious. It sounds silly, but I really wish someone talked to me about this as a long-term relationship issue that everyone will have to deal with in one way or another. I still love my wife to death after almost 16 years and we still have fantastic sex, just not as much as we used to. If anything, it's made us closer as we are even more in tune with each other's needs. The last I want from her is to force herself to do things she isn't in the mood for. I hope this makes sense. It's something I just recently had to figure out that was becoming an issue with us, but talking things out is always the best course and understanding both sides. You/Latruce responded. Communicate. Tell each other how you feel. If there are big things that you feel, it will come out eventually. It's better to understand each other, and if it's not the best thing, at least you can start to work through it early on, before it becomes a bigger thing. It's okay to go to bed angry. I hear a lot of never go to sleep angry. Sometimes, you need that time to cool off and realize that maybe it wasn't as big a deal, also you can communicate it better, and not in a rage mood. Do the little things. I say thank you to my wife every time she cooks a meal. She says thank you every time I come home from work, and do things. Now our daughter says thank you and tells us how she feels about things. She even said thank you for taking me to Hawaii when we went for our 5-year anniversary. You/Fearless Mark 8336 responded. I shared that great percentage equation very early in my marriage. I'm shooting 95 and her, well, let's just say it was 10 here 20 over there, and someone driving my truck and leaving 30% gas while late picking her up from or checking out from. Then I got 80% on the damn bus because my $80, 1,000+ truck was in her less than everything while her Mercedes in shop, and for some reason, for all reasons, I tried doing the math and minus 200 par and ghost then tried appearing, after finding out a covert narc. 13 years married him, only wished I wasn't so gullible and trusting, thinking about her saying after 2 years when are we getting married? After my long-term learning relationships and counseling. I look at all these beautiful people in this post that are talking and being open and wanting, earning and learning respect for all, or even just understanding that it may not. But still, at least what I haven't heard yet, save the infamous ghosting. I applaud this post for allowing me to read the courage and viewing that there is still hope. You/WillingnessFit 8317 responded. Married 40 years. To keep from being unhappy, don't let things that matter go just to keep the peace. I'm a widow, so I'll feel like I can be honest. From the beginning of our marriage, we established mutually that we were in it forever. Our upbringing is the major reason as to not break up a family. That isn't to say we would allow abuse, infidelity, etc. We never had any issues with that. My husband was athletic. He was good at most every sport. His passion was golf. He was good at it with a 0 handicap. We lived in different towns, 100 likes apart. We married within 6 months of dating. I later told my husband I see now why. We started dating in September and got married in February. In March he played on 3 softball teams, a bowling league, and golf. As I said, he excelled at all. I decided early that I realized how much, especially golf, which was important to him. I didn't want it to come between our marriages. We had 2 children right away. This is where I was wrong. I didn't fight for more time as a family or as a wife. I thought that by not setting boundaries, I was doing what was best so he wouldn't be resentful. He played golf 7 days a week. In golf tournaments every weekend. He won a lot of money. I became hurt and resentful. I talked to him over and over about needing more time together. It never worked. So I'll just lived with it. If I ever decide to get married again, no more golf. I want to be a priority. You/responsible onion 860 responded. Stop thinking me and her him. Start thinking we as your default. Your marriage comes first. If you both put your marriage first, your marriage will grow strong. If you're both always focused on the team and willing to make sacrifices for it, you'll both be much happier. It doesn't mean your happiness will never matter, because when you're always thinking as a team, you're both making the other person's happiness a priority. The other thing, love is a verb. It's not a fleeting emotion. It's not a butterfly's feeling. It's a choice. Love is always a choice. Those tingly feelings of excitement are a byproduct of that choice. That stuff will fade at times, but if you both choose to love each other over and over again, you'll be just fine. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you might enjoy the rest of my content. Check it out.